Hey, my friends, welcome back to this episode of Sexy Confident Life. We are here, episode 59, talking about one of those things that just never seems to disappoint. I don't think any of us would be disappointed if we stopped experiencing disappointment. But unfortunately, I feel that no matter what phase of life we are in, whether we are infant children or old and gray, we are going to be experiencing disappointment for a very long time. And consistently, right? Because it's just one of those things that's a part of life. So I really believe that it's important we understand how we want to deal with disappointment, what strategy or mindset we put into place in our lives in order to deal with disappointment, because it's going to happen. Loss is going to happen. Any kind of disappointment, failure. It's kind of like without the rain, there is no rainbow. And I like to think about disappointment as not just being a loss, not just being something that we fear, but being something that can also provide a victory, or something that can also provide us a beautiful ending, or even a new opportunity, right? So when I think about disappointment, my mindset and my philosophy and the way that I deal with disappointment is something I want to talk about today and see if I can help infuse a little bit of this into your mind and into your heart and into your spirit, because there's nothing worse than going through life constantly feeling disappointed in things and not really knowing how to handle it, not really knowing how to feel about it, and not being able to recover. Because recovery is like the number one thing. It's inevitable that we're going to be disappointed. But how we cope with it and how we recover and end up even further on top is so essential to our growth as human beings, right? And so I always use that phrase, without the rain, there is no rainbow. There's another one, with no bad, there's no good. And I want you guys to think about a negative experience that you might have had recently, maybe a disappointing experience, something that happened in your life where you're just like, God, seriously, this sucks. Whether it's a breakup and you're going through something like that, where it's a relationship issue and you're so disappointed in the fact that it didn't work out, or that the person didn't turn out to be the person you wanted them to be or hoped they would be. But think about the other side of that, right? Try to change your thinking today, just for today, and start to think about what that breakup might provide you opportunity-wise. I know a lot of women that have gone through really tough breakups, myself included, not thinking I'm going to make it, not thinking I'm ever going to find anyone else. And then the best thing on earth comes my way because I'm available to it. I'm open to it. I'm no longer in something else that has limited me to have this opportunity with someone new. I know it doesn't feel like that's ever going to happen, or that the opportunity might happen, but we've got to believe that it will. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to mindset and how we handle our disappointments and how we're starting to think about these things. If we think about something as disappointing as a breakup or a move, maybe you have to move for a job or for financial reasons, and you got to move in with your family again, or something's going on like that, or maybe you lost your job and it's just so discouraging. Something you put your whole heart and all your time and invested all of your intellect, and you lost that job. It sucks. No one's trying to sugarcoat disappointment sucks, right? I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, what can you think about as a positive side that could result in a new opportunity, in a new phase of your life, in a new challenge that might push you to places that you never even thought you would go? Because I know people that have lost their jobs, and it's incredible how much they learn about themselves, how much they realize they've got this other support from their friends and their family. And then they find a job that was actually better than the one that they had and allow them to do more of what they actually loved. Because they were pushed into that. Like, you know, if we get comfortable, it's easy to just stick around, hang out. Yeah, let's do it. But if you are given a push out the door, you've got no choice but to level up. You've got no choice but to start looking for something new. You've got no choice but to expect more of yourself, to step into that challenge and to find a new opportunity. So you're starting to think now, okay, my disappointment, what I went through, yeah, it sucked, but what did it teach me? What kind of lessons did I learn? What kind of person did I evolve and become because of that disappointment? Because I can guarantee you that no matter what it was you experienced in your life, it made you stronger to handle that disappointment. It made you it gave you better coping skills. And there's a lot of things that we could talk about when it comes to disappointment and how to handle it. Before I go into that, you know, I'll share one defining moment in my life when I feel like this moment of disappointment could have ruined me. It could have destroyed my ambition and my dreams that I had, but it actually opened a door that led to my ultimate, ideal lifestyle that I never even had dreamed about. Like, I didn't even know that I wanted these things until I was told I couldn't have what I thought I wanted. And just to give you a little bit of a background story on that, my career was always kind of up and down. You know, I went into exercise physiology to be a clinical exercise physiologist and work with people that are overcoming pulmonary and cardiac diseases. And I didn't enjoy the hospitals very much, so I went into personal training. And that was a little disappointing because I didn't want to be a personal trainer, to be honest with you. I didn't think it was up to par with what I had studied and what I had learned about the body and things like that. So going into personal training was a little bit like a letdown for me, but I realized how much I loved it once I got into it. It was like really my passion. It's actually what I feel like I was destined to do. And if you've ever watched me on Pop Sugar Fitness, you know that I took all my knowledge and all my skills and I just started implementing them into preventative disease and training and coaching and teaching people how to be healthy, how to live that healthy, strong life. And I love it. It's been amazing. And one of my dreams, ultimately, as I was a trainer, was to be the next Tony Horton of fitness. It was to be the next Jillian Michael, but not Jillian Michaels of fitness, the Jane Fonda of 2012. Back in 2012 when I moved to Los Angeles. And it was my goal. It was my dream. I was like, I got to get this big break. I've got to become this person. I really want to be a star and I want to teach and preach and help the world get healthier through my fitness. And you know what? I found myself sitting across the table from Carl Deichler, the CEO and president of Beachbody. And most of you know Beachbody is a mega fitness brand, pretty much crushing it out there with tons and tons of professional videos and DVDs. And that's where Tony Horton started his career. And that's where there's so many amazing talented trainers that they have taken under their wing and produced programs with. And that was my dream. And here I was sitting across the table from Carl Deichler. And he was giving me a little bit of the preview of this outlined contract that he was proposing. And I was so excited, you guys. I mean, here I was in my journal. I had this written down, become a super trainer for Beachbody, create a product with Beachbody. And here I was. But But there were two things in that meeting that really turned me off for a moment. One of those things was 1%, and the other was 0 ownership. Because when you work with a big company like that, you don't get to make the decisions. You are being told what the deal is. You can take it or leave it. And you know what? I would have taken it. I would have taken it in an instant, you guys, because I was broke. I was living month to month. I had nothing but my gut instincts to just go out, create, give, do what I can do, get any deal I could get. And here was my biggest dream, to be a super trainer for Beachbody. But I was a little twisted and torn about the fact that I wouldn't have any ownership of this program I created. And I was only going to get 1%. Even though it might be 1% of millions, it was still 1%, right? And that was like choosing fame or freedom. And when I didn't get the call back from Beachbody, I mean, it's a long story. They didn't call me back after about a week, and I had a hunch. I had a feeling that it wasn't gonna happen. The deal was not gonna be sealed. They went with another option, right? And that was disappointing to me. I was a bit heartbroken. But that same week that I didn't get a call from Beachbody, I met my future husband. And I met Vito one night in Santa Monica because I wanted his mentorship. I wanted to take him out for a drink and I wanted to meet him. And I was thinking, this guy's just got so much knowledge in business and marketing, and he's going to help me grow my brand and what I'm doing in the fitness industry. And he presented another opportunity to me. He was a Beachbody coach, and he presented the Beachbody coaching opportunity to me, along with all these other ideas on how I could start to build my own brand and build my own company outside of Beachbody's help. And again, I got that same incredible, exciting feeling in my heart. And I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I can do this. And I drew a line in the sand where I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop looking for a big break. I'm going to stop looking for the fame and the quick money and just like getting myself out there into the world on someone else's platform. I'm going to do this myself. And it was an opportunity I never would have taken had Beachbody called me back. Instead, I became a Beachbody coach. I started creating my own online programs. I started coaching and training for Pop Sugar Fitness. I started building my own brand, doing my own thing. And now I live a lifestyle of freedom. I'm making my own money. I live by my own rules. I got the freedoms of life that I want. I'm going to be a mom and I can work from home. Nobody's telling me where to go or what to do. It's all up to me. And I never saw that opportunity. I never envisioned this life and all the things that have led to more and more and more things that I've done in my life because of that biggest disappointing moment when I didn't get the dream role that I wanted, that I had envisioned. Instead, I got the dream life that I never envisioned. And so with that story, I want you to think about right now something that might have disappointed you in your life where maybe maybe you haven't gotten over it yet. You know, maybe you're still stuck on it. Maybe you're still thinking about like, oh, if only my life would be so much better if. I want you to flip your mindset right now and look up and look around and see what you might be missing because you're stuck in your disappointment. I want you to consider what you can gain from that disappointment. Maybe it's just resilience. Maybe it is your coping mechanisms. Maybe it's the lessons that you learned. Maybe it's new opportunities that you've been able to capture. Maybe it's just acceptance overall. That what you thought might happen or what you wanted to happen didn't happen the way you want it to, or didn't happen at all. And the second thing is just to let it go. If we hold on to disappointment for too long, it can ruin us personally. It can destroy relationships from ever healing. It can prevent us from seeing those new opportunities and those new positive things that can come into our life when we're open to it and when we're ready for it. But if we're like hiding underneath a pillow, not wanting to come outside, or if we're resentful of people that have disappointed us in the past, hey, when my dad wasn't there for me growing up, I was disappointed for a long time. But then it grew into acceptance, and it grew into the skills that I had as a woman to be more independent, not rely on anybody, especially a man. My mama always taught me that. But it was to be resilient. I became a stronger young woman because I didn't have a lot of things that were just expected for most of us to have, like parents. Maybe you've lost a loved one, or maybe you recently lost a loved one. A lot of people have lost others. But we've got to learn how to cope and understand that it makes us stronger when we get through it. Because maybe your strength is something you need to give to someone else soon. Maybe what you're going through isn't for you, it's for you to pass on to someone else. Maybe you need to build the strength to pay it forward, to be a stronger parent, to be a supportive spouse. Accepting and embracing those disappointments can sometimes lead to even more beautiful things. I know now I have a great relationship with my dad because I let the resentment go. I accepted him for who he was and brought him into my life in a different way, on a friendship level, on an adult level. Let's have conversations. Let's talk about the world. Let's not talk about, the relationship between father and daughter and everything that went wrong and why you didn't do this perfectly and all that. It's like, who cares? There's a lot of people that don't have fathers and never will. Or there's a lot of people that have stepfathers that are abusive. There's so many ways to look at our disappointments and see that it wasn't so bad and that we can grow from that. The third thing I want you to think about is to decide that you will not let disappointment rule your ambition. You will not let it destroy your ambition to move forward in life. Right? You've got to move forward. You've got to keep progressing. Do not give up on the things that you want. Do not let disappointment take you down. And continue fighting. Because I got to tell you, we have to evolve as women, as people. You're going to teach your kids who see disappointment come, experience it, and you're going to have to show them, how do we get through this? How do we overcome it? What new opportunity can we seize? Why is it worth fighting for? And if we can teach kids to do that, we should be able to teach ourselves, right? We should be able to honor the struggle, to accept what has happened and move forward no matter what. We really have no choice other than to live in misery. Other than to just, sit back and have that victimhood and that self-pity. And it's not healthy for us, for the people in our lives. And we don't have to be there. We can move forward. We can move through it. I think that's so important. And I think it's something for everyone to consider is like, look at what that disappointment is and keep your head up. Because as soon as that rain comes, there will be a rainbow. But are you looking up to see it? Are you going to notice the beauty, the opportunities around you, the strength that you've gained, the resilience that you've gained? It's so vital that today you step out of any of that self-limiting beliefs, those disappointing memories, and move forward in the next steps of your journey. I hope you guys will do it. It's been awesome connecting with you today, and I'll see you soon.